Laureate Education was founded in 1998 by Douglas Baker as Sullivan International University, part of Sullivan Learning System. The company initially focused on higher education and made its first major acquisition in 1999 by purchasing Universidad Europea de Madrid in Spain. By 2001, Laureate expanded its further, acquiring universities in Mexico, Chile, and Switzerland, and invested in Weather University in 2003. Laureate sold its K-12 business and rebranded as Laureate Education, focusing solely on higher education. The company went private in 2007 and continued to grow, eventually operating more than 1 million student enrollment across 28 countries. Starting 2017, under new CEO Eric Hansen, Laureate shifted its strategy, selling many of its schools and focused on key markets like Mexico and Peru. By 2021, the company completed major sales, including Weldon University, and reduced its operations significantly. Today, Laureate continues to operate as a public company, concentrating on higher education and looking at the organization culture and structure. In leadership changes, in September 2017, Douglas Baker announced its resignation as CEO. Elisha Hansen, former CEO, succeeded him in January 2018. This leadership transition likely influenced strategic decisions, including company shift toward devastation and restructuring. Strategic refocusing: Starting in 2018, Laureate pivoted towards consolidating operations in fewer regions such as Spain, Portugal, and US and Latin America, reflecting a restructuring and to optimize performance. The company decision to divest institutions in regions like Morocco, China, and Italy underscore a streamlined and learning structure. The government and reputation management investigation and transparency. Allegations of corruption in Brazil highlight potential gaps in governance and ethical standards. The firm faced criticism and practices like assigning teachers subjects outside their expertise and suggesting challenges and maintaining consistent organization culture. Managing human resources internationally. Mass dismissal and employee relations. The dismissal of 150 teachers in Brazil in December 2018 triggered accusations of unethical practice, including forgery and poor assignment of teaching roles. This incident reflects challenges in maintaining HR standards and consistent employee management practice across international markets. Cultural and regional adaptation. Managing educational institutions in diverse regions like Europe, South America, and Asia require adapting HR policy to local laws, culture, and expectations. Failure or inconsistency in this adaptation process, as seen in Brazil investigation, exposed the difficulty of centralized HR management in global context. The workforce downsizing and devastation. The company's strategic shift involved selling or closing multiple campuses 2018 until 2021, affecting staff morale and employment stability. Effective communication and transition management during this divestiture would have crucial to mitigate workforce disruption. State compliance and regulation. The first accredited totaling 137 million were issued to U.S. Department of Education to safeguard student aid, reflecting regulatory compliance challenges in different jurisdictions. Compliance with international labor law and educational regulation would have essential to avoid legal and reputational risks.
Next is marketing and branding strategy. The incident that Laureate Education faced in Brazil, which is teacher complaints, has significantly impacted their marketing and branding strategies. First, the reputational damage had been negative in the public, especially around teachers. Dissatisfaction and precarious working conditions. The situation harmed the Laureate image as an educational institution leader. It also reduced the trust among their students, parents, and faculty, which led to difficulties in maintaining its brand equity in the Brazilian market. Next, the shift in Laureate education strategic messaging in response to the incident in Brazil is centered on reframing the narrative around its investment and highlighting their global strength. Laureate used their sale of Brazilian operation to Anima Holding SA as a cornerstone of its messaging. The company used this decision as a strategic move to ensure the long-term success of the institution under new leadership, also distancing itself from the ongoing controversies. This message is to portray Laureate as a responsible organization that prioritizes the students and institutional growth rather than lingering on its challenge. Last but not least, the erosion of stakeholder confidence in Laureate education due to the incident in Brazil had affected few key groups, including the students, faculty, investor, and regulatory bodies. However, the regulatory bodies that give the most impact into the institution are investors. From the perception of operational risks, the investor confidence was shaken by operational challenge and legal disputes in Brazil. For example, the terminated agreement between Laureate Education with Solar Education and the subsequent sale to Anima Holding SA. Managing expatriates. The impact on managing the expatriates are cultural and ethical tension, reputational damage, and operational challenge. For cultural and ethical tension, firstly, ethical dilemmas. In particular, any employees from regions with stricter corporate governance norms may have found it difficult to reconcile with their professional ethics with the practices within the organization. Next is cultural perception. A misalignment between corporate practice and local values might exacerbate cultural tension. Next, reputational damage. The incident had tarnished Laureate education image, especially in the academic and regulatory communities around the institute. This could have a direct impact on expatriates that are known as representatives of the organization. The expatriates rely on their company reputation to establish trust and credibility from local communities in host countries. The fallout in Brazil had made it more challenging for the expatriate to create a relationship with the local stakeholder. Lastly, operational challenge. Investigation and legal action can complicate the roles of the expatriates and also causes operational disruption. Expatriates may have encountered difficulties in maintaining day-to-day operation while responding to the regulatory scrutiny. Additionally, Laureate education should manage the morale among the local employees and address the concern about job security and ethics that are under their purview to gain trust from the employees. International labor relations. Some of the impacts that happen on international labor relations include erosion of global employee trust, unionization, and collective bargaining, and strain on cross-cultural labor dynamics. Firstly, erosion of global employee trust. The reports of unethical practices, such as coercion of educators to falsify the documents, can create a distrust issue among faculty members across Laureate's global operation. This incident had raised concerns about the institution's commitment to ethical labor practices and created apprehension among the academic professionals. Next, unionization and collective bargaining. The incident had strengthened the position of unions and labor advocacy groups within Brazil and potentially also in other regions where Laureate education operates. However, unionized environments often demand a higher degree of transparency and worker engagement, which might have required Laureate to adjust its labor policy internationally to avoid similar confrontation. Lastly, strain on cross-cultural labor dynamics. The incident in Brazil exemplified the difficulties of implementing a standardized corporate policy in diverse cultural and legal environments. Labor relations in education are deeply tied to local norms and regulatory frameworks, and the lack of adaptation to Brazil labor laws lead to friction.
Hi, now I'm going to present about analyze incidents in cultural awareness, dynamics of cultures, and addressing cultural differences. First is cultural awareness. Teacher complaints in Brazil expose laureate education's lack of alignment with the cultural values and expectations surrounding education. In Brazil, teachers are highly respected and their roles are seen as pivotal to societal development. The allegations of assigning teachers outside their fields of expertise and the large-scale layoff signal a potential undervaluing of professional standards, creating significant dissatisfaction among educators and students. Forging documents as alleged would further violate Brazilian cultural norms around trust and professionalism, eroding the company's reputation in a sector where credibility is critical. Second is dynamics of cultures. Education in Brazil is not only an academic pursuit, but also a societal pillar. Any perceived degradation of teaching quality or mistreatment of educators can lead to widespread backlash, as seen with the protests following the mass layoff in 2018. This highlights how cultural norms regarding employment, rights, and academic integrity must be respected to maintain local goodwill. Third is addressing cultural differences. Laureates' cost-cutting measures may have prioritized financial efficiency over cultural expectations, demonstrating a need for deeper engagement with local stakeholders. Incorporating local leadership and fostering dialogue with faculty could have helped address such cultural disconnects. Okay, next I'm going to present about the theories relating to international trade. First is interventionist theories. Brazil's regulatory environment. The Brazilian government has significant oversight of private education providers to ensure quality and protect educators' rights. Interventionist policies focus on maintaining standards and also addressing public concerns about for-profit education. Second, teacher complaints as a result of cost-cutting. The mass layoff and accusations of employing teachers outside their areas of expertise reflect a conflict between laureates' global strategy of cost efficiency and Brazil's regulatory expectations. Interventionist policies created a challenging environment where laureates' practices were scrutinized. Second is free trade theories. Laureate's global expansion. Laureate's business model thrives in markets where governments allow foreign investment in education with minimal restrictions. Initially, Brazil presented such opportunities, enabling Laureate to establish a strong presence in the higher education sector. Conflict with cultural norms. However, Brazil's education sector is deeply tied to cultural expectations of teacher professionalism. Laureate's cost-focused approach led to actions, for example, assigning teachers to unrelated subjects that clash with local norms, undermining the free trade advantages. Then is trade patterns theories, mismatch with local education needs. The Heckscher-Ohlin theory suggests that Brazil, with its abundant labor force, should focus on high-quality, labor-intensive educational programs. Laureates' reliance on a globalized, standardized model may have ignored these local factors, leading to dissatisfaction among educators and students. Impact of product life cycle. In the education sector, as markets mature, there's often a shift toward quality over affordability. Laureate's focus on cost-cutting was slightly more suited to emerging markets, but Brazil's education sector had reached a point where quality and cultural sensitivity were higher priorities. Next is the statistics and dynamics of trade, changing perceptions of for-profit education. Initially, Brazil's private education sector was open to foreign operators like Laureate, benefiting from the demand for higher education. However, public concerns about declining education quality led to stricter oversight and diminishing acceptance of for-profit models. Local dynamics: protests from teachers and students reflected broader dissatisfaction with international operators prioritizing profits over local needs. This shift in public sentiment directly impacted Laureate's operations. Last but not least, factor mobility theory. Labor mobility challenges. The reliance on a globalized workforce and standardized practices clash with Brazil's regulatory and cultural environment, which demanded locally qualified teachers for specialized roles. Capital mobility. Laureate's capital investments in Brazil initially allowed it to dominate the market. However, when regulatory and reputational risks increased, Laureate chose to divest from the region, showcasing the challenges of balancing factor mobility with local constraints. That's all from me. Thank you.
Based on the detailed incidents and challenges outlined for laureate education in the document, the solutions that can be taken is first strengthening governance and ethical standards. By implementing rigorous governance frameworks by establishing an independent compliance board to oversee operations and enforce ethical practices globally. Next is improved transparency. Regularly publish detailed operational reports addressing governance, ethics, and compliance to rebuild stakeholder trust. The second one is human resource management and workforce relations, training and development, by offering professional development opportunities to faculty and staff to ensure roles align with their expertise, particularly addressing the concerns of unqualified teaching assignments. Next is transparent communication during downsizing. Use clear communication and fair severance policies to maintain morale during workforce adjustment. The third one is marketing and branding strategies. Proactive reputation management. Launching campaigns highlights success stories and community contribution to counteract reputational damage. Next is local engagement. Partnering with local organizations and community to rebuild trust and reinforce the institution's commitment to quality education. The last one is international labor relation. Union engagement. Actively engage with unions to negotiate fair terms and build partnership rather than confrontation. Next is standardized labor practices. Develop a global labor policy template adaptable to local regulation, ensuring fairness and consistency across operation. The fifth one is operational and strategic adjustment. Focus on key markets, strengthening operation in core regions such as Mexico and Peru, leveraging local expertise and strong market positioning. Next is balancing quality and cost by prioritizing educational quality even in cost-cutting measures by investing in teacher training and student support programs.
The conclusion, based on critical incident analysis, is laureate education strategies evolution under Douglas Baker demonstrates a clear shift is originated from focus on Sylvan for the learning system to establish a significant presence in the global higher education market. The company transformation into an international higher education provider, marked by its acquisition of University Europe Dimetric in 1990, significant in ambition to capitalize on the growing demand for accessible and quality education worldwide. And that's the subsequent expansion into Mexico, Switzerland, shares and investment in World University by 2001. Highlight Lawrence's effective use of to grow strategy to diversity, geography and culturally. This aggressive expansion model enabled the company to position itself as a global leader in private higher education. Overall, Laureate's approach exemplifies how Target, combined with a vision for global education accessibility, can rapidly scale operation and establish a competitive advantage in the higher sectors. However, such growth also required careful integration, accurate interpretation to maintain consistent quality and alignment with organization missions. That's all. Thank you.
The reflection points on Lawrence education critical incident facts is first is strategy rebranding in 1998, transition changes from Sylvan's learning system to Sylvan International University to more calm, shift to higher education. And number 2 is rapid global expansion 2001 is equation in Mexico, Chile and Switzerland demonstrate as commitment to diversify education portfolio. For the third is investment in Walden University 2001 is strategy move into adopt an online education aligned with global trend in method flexible learner. Next is challenges in integration is manage quality, consistency across diverse institutions and market post
operation difficulties. For the next is balance of profit and impact is problem between financial objective and the mission of providing accessible quality education. And for the last is market vision is demonstrate foresight in addressing global higher education demand and leveraging emerging trends. That's it. Thank you.